Welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Here we go again. In a minute, I gotta wake up. Got a long road ahead and a short time to get there. Good morning. Welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Literally. I guess technically that's not true. I'm in the middle of southern Michigan. I left my house about 4 hours ago, and I'm here to pick up a parts car. Now, that's good because it's going to move our project car forward much faster than if we had to source parts individually. Just haven't really seen much of it other than a couple pictures. So we're about a mile up the road. We're gonna run up there, take a look at this car, hopefully strap it on the trailer and bring it home. Move our project Capri forward. If this is the kind of stuff you like, click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Stick around. This fog is no joke. It slowed me down a little bit. Nothing but farmland. Have to do something creative with that.
All right.
I'm gonna have a really sore right arm here. Left arm tomorrow. Well, this is the donor car in all its glory. It is a complete in-op Capri. It's actually a 76, so it's a little bit different, but it will work for my needs because the fenders and all the front underpinnings are all the same. Hey, it's even got a dash. It even has a V6 under the hood, which is amazing. But he has a really cool one in the garage. He's got a 74 Ford Capri.
2.0.
Little 2.0 beast.
Freshly rebuilt.
This one's different. It has his and hers sunroofs on it, which is kind of unique. I've never seen that ever done. Oh, I got caught by the dirt bike. It's actually a pretty cool little car. Bucket seats, 4-speed.
All new drivetrain.
Hey, look, a Capri. What it's supposed to look like. This one even has frame rails and a nose.
Yeah, she's pretty solid.
Well, 4 hours up to, I don't know, south central Michigan. Just about an hour west of Detroit. Not too bad of a drive. It was foggy. I was tired. I started this morning at like 3:30. Got there around 8:30. Looked at the car, handed the guy money, what he was asking for it, loaded it up. And now I'm on my way home. Interesting fact, this car is actually a 76, so it's a little bit newer, and it appears to have a 2.8 V6 with a manual shift transmission in it, so it's probably a 4-speed. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what that's all about. I'm sure it's complete rusted garbage. Basically, the hood's got some dents in it. I'm going to try and work those, see if I can save the hood. The fenders, the rear dog legs are rusted, no big deal, we can fix that. So I've got fenders, I've got a full nose. The strut towers don't look rusted. And the, you know, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it as far as the parts go, because these things are not easy to find. Ironically, Rob has a 74. It's actually a very nice car. It was owned by his brother, and apparently it cracked a bell housing. And then a couple years later, his brother passed away, and then the thing sat for many years. And Rob just went over and grabbed it and started working on it. Looks like a really nice, solid little car. And it's actually for sale if anybody's looking for a 1974 Ford Capri. Not to be confused with the Mercury Capri, because it is a completely different car. But hey, it's all good. I'm going to focus on driving. Lots of cornfields, lots of land. Always make sure you have at least a quarter tank of fuel when you're driving in Michigan so that you don't run out or carry extra fuel. Austin almost ran out of fuel on his last trip picking up the SCCA car, so we'll see. We'll put that into our things to do, is put some extra jerry cans on the flatbed for trips.
You join me, also a long way away from the shop, and I am picking up two somethings that we need. Well, we only need really one of the somethings, but there are two of them. That is a 2.8 liter Ford 60-degree V6, and that's another one.
Yeah, this is the one. And you can see everything's still dripping with oil.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get a flashlight in there, you can still see everything. Nothing's rusted up. Because actually I had rebuilt this one, and I think I had maybe about 40 thou on it.
Okay.
And then I decided, well, I wanted to go with the Offenhauser manifold, so I just started and did a whole new one. High volume oil pump, the manifold, carburetor. It's got a dual duration cam in it.
Okay. You happen to have the cam information for it?
It might be.
And we've also got, what, exhaust manifolds and full exhaust here?
Yeah.
One-piece drive shaft.
Yeah, that's out of a
Starters.
76. In the 74, they were two-piece.
Okay.
And when the U-joints start going, rather than replace it, it had been a few years, I went and pulled one out of a 76.
Makes sense.
And just bolted straight in. And it worked.
Same length, just
Yeah. Everything
minus the centerpiece.
Right.
Clutches, flywheels.
Yeah. There's like two sets of flywheels and clutches, pressure plate. And this one, it's got a different bolt pattern. I don't remember what that's off of.
Okay.
But it's a Ford something. I don't know if they thought the ring gear was savable or whatever.
Okay.
And this is a brand new clutch. Here. This is actually for a Mustang 2 V6. This is a brand new clutch. But it's got a different spline.
Okay.
Because the Ford transmissions had a heavy spline where the Capris had the small.
Okay.
And there's a lining tool I'd made. So when you put them in.
Gotcha. Okay. All kinds of goodies.
Oh yeah.
Many pieces of the puzzle.
And this, I was telling them about.
Yeah.
Because the Capris came with a 3/8 rod.
Yeah.
And I snapped so many of those off. What I did, being a tool maker, I made this out of stainless and 3/4 by 3/8, you can't break this one.
Can't shift hard enough to break that?
Yeah, it's still standard. It all fits right in the same thing. So
Oh, it's even got the Capri logo on top of the shifter too.
yeah, this was aftermarket. It's not the original.
That's cool. Very cool. You got some yokes, pulleys.
Yeah, I got a couple different brackets for alternators.
Okay. And this is a what, a 390?
That's a 390 CFM, yeah.
Okay.
Because originally the 74s, because they were a smog motor, they had taken, the 72s had the alternator on the right.
Okay.
They moved it to the left because they put the air pump on the right.
Gotcha.
First
Okay.
thing I did when I lived in California, I tore the air pump off, bought the bracket, moved the alternator there. I just had to make the wires go all the way around.
Gotcha. It's even got the Capri V6 valve covers on it.
This
Okay.
is the power valve, and then this is the jets that I finally went to because I tried different ones
Sure.
and worked up to it. And I should have. I have a lot of manual stuff here. Over the years, I've got. This is the original from my car. This is Chilton's. This is the one I bought, which is the 74 manual. I don't know if the, see if I can, oh here. Yeah, I've got manuals. This is the 71s when they first came out, and 72s, 74. And when you, if you get into this, because you can see I got electronic ignition on here,
Yeah.
that's kind of the same thing that's in a 76. I
Okay.
do have the original distributor, which is manual points. That's in the white box.
Okay.
But then I went through, and in here I,
More parts.
If this doesn't work, I'm just pulling the trailer off underneath the car.
Okay. It's getting sketchier and sketchier.
There's no way that tire holds air. It is
No.
completely debeaded.
It's, yes, I've already covered that.
This one is still on the bead.
Nah, I think it's questionable.
It's also dry rotted to hell.
Yeah. So I said I'm surprised it hasn't turned to ash. The valve is
So the answer is no.
clogged? Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely yanking the trailer up underneath this thing.
All right.
All right, time to do more sketching.
Nope, the car's moving.
You're gonna have to push the front of the car.
Alright. I'm gonna try my best.
Don't ever let anybody say that sketchy shit doesn't work.
All because of this.
Yeah.
My hips don't lie.
It's the little booty that made it happen. So there we go. Got ourselves two 2.8 liter Cologne V6s. As you can see, the other one that does not have the intake on it and the oil pan on it, the heads are basically freshly rebuilt. So that's a good thing. We obviously will take those apart just to make sure everything is good, because those heads are unfortunately a little bit notorious for cracking, which is a problem. The other one, which is a completely assembled motor, does have an Offenhauser 4-barrel intake manifold on it, and the Holley 390 CFM carburetor that everybody's looking for those cars, which is going to be an interesting addition to this project. This little guy, as Rich was saying, is a 1976 Capri So it is a different. This would be a Mark II Capri versus this is a Mark I Capri. The physical skins are actually different between these two, though they share essentially most of the same underpinnings. The nice thing with this is it's a solid car, so we can start to understand the front end geometry that's underneath the hood of this thing. Hood's actually pretty decent other than this dent that you see there. And as Rich mentioned, it does have a Cologne V6 2.8 in there as well. And it is a stick shift car. See? Stick shift. Which means I think we've settled on our power plant. It's going to be that 2.8 V6. That's technically speaking the largest motor that was allowed or that was offered in 1974 for that guy there. So it would be kind of the big displacement, big power motor. Now those Cologne V6s are kind of odd. They're US spec only essentially. They shared the same bottom end with the one that happened in Europe that was a 2.8 liter, but those heads are completely different. So there's a lot of things that don't swap back and forth. And the heads that were in the American 2.8s are apparently a bit notorious, as I said, for cracking heads. Now supposedly the earlier generations of those 2.8s were not as bad as the later generations of those 2.8s. I guess there's a thickness issue underneath on the bottom of the heads. So who knows? We'll see. We have at least 3 of them at this point in time, 3 sets of heads, so hopefully at least one of them is still in good shape. We will probably tear the engine and transmission out of this car, this donor vehicle, and tear it down. We will tear down the other 2 that are in the shop, and we will go through all of it to see exactly what is working and what is not good. Hopefully we've got some pretty good parts that we can work from. Be able to build at least 1 motor, maybe 2. If it's going to be a race car, it's not a bad idea to have a backup motor. And I think that'll work out well. This was originally raced with a 2-liter, but the 2.8 I think is going to be a little bit more fun. It's going to have more torque because of the V6. We're going to be able to bump the compression up a little bit. We can maybe hopefully use that camshaft that's in the 2.8 that's in there already, paired with the Offenhauser, paired with the 390. We might be able to make 180 horsepower or so, which should be pretty respectable in that car, honestly, because it's a pretty lightweight vehicle. Now, obviously, we have a whole lot of work to do to get this front end done, and that's still a bit up in the air. The option of grafting some of this onto this is certainly there. Most of the underpinnings are the same between these two, so technically that would work. Obviously the fenders are still going to need to be replaced with a set of fenders for 1974, and the 74 does have a long bulge hood, so this is kind of a short bulge, but it only comes down to here. The 74s, it was a full-length bulge. But I think that makes sense, and it brings the car back to life. Now, there are some other questions as far as what we are going to do with this car once it's done, and part of this, because it is a race car, is because we want to bring this car back to the track. So it needs to be built with that in mind. There are some interesting thoughts rolling around on our heads, and I want to say thank you very much to Norm from Team Blitz, whom I spent basically my entire morning with, picking his brain and learning all that I could possibly learn about these Capris. And he's brought up some very, very valuable questions that we need to find reasonably decent answers for. As far as being able to race this thing, in what kind of classes we can race it in, based on the engine that's in it, based on the modifications to the engine, whether you can run the Offenhauser in the 4-barrel, where you need to go, build a 2-barrel version of the 2.8. There's a lot of questions still there that need to be answered. The initial build will be on the Offenhauser 4-barrel setup with a 2.8 liter, probably bump compression up, so it'll be a fun car that we can drive and we can sort things out. Whether or not there's a 2-barrel version of that 2.8 that's built to be able to race in that class, whether or not there's possibly a Pinto 2-liter build also in the works, could be a thing also, so that we could race in the 2-liter class. There's a lot of options, and in the vintage world you've really got to be very specific about what kind of class you're building to. If you don't just build the car for funsies, if you're going to be racing it on track, you do need to understand that you need to build it to a certain spec or a certain set of rules. Otherwise, you're going to show up for your weekend of racing and you're not really going to be able to race. Or you will be able to race, but you're not going to be any kind of a competitive class. And what you don't want to do is show up with something that's really cool and exciting and you're very proud about it and you spent $10,000 building it, only to be put in a class where you're racing against things that make twice as much power as you because you've got 1 or 2 modifications that are not allowed in your class and you get bumped up. So we want to avoid that at all costs. But anyway, so there's our 74 and our 76 Ford Capris. A couple other things that are hiding back here in the backyard you may or may not have seen in previous videos. But that's where we are at this point in time. Those are our plans so far for this Ford Capri build. We would like to say thank you very, very, very much to all of you who have joined our channel because of this Ford Capri. We had no idea people were going to be so excited about this. I knew people would be excited about it. I was excited about it. I thought it'd be really interesting. We had absolutely no idea. So thank you very much, everybody who's brand new to the channel. Welcome to Lucore Automotive. We really appreciate you being here. We appreciate all the new subscribers, all the comments. You guys have absolutely overwhelmed our comment section. We are going to do our best to stay up on the comments and try to respond back to absolutely everybody, as we always have in the past. Again, we're just a small shop here in Central Ohio. We don't have a huge budget. It's just a couple of us that are really working on cars and doing things here. So bear with us when we're a little bit slow, a little bit behind the schedule to be able to get things to you guys. So as always, please do click on the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Drop us a comment in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, whatever, let's keep it going in the comment section because we are really learning this process through you guys. We're learning a lot about the Capri world from you people who have owned these things and from you people who have raced these things. There's going to be a whole lot of project ahead of this thing. This is not going to be a quick and easy little project. This is going to be a very, very long-term thing because we have a lot of work to do to get that Capri back up and running. But we're going to do it because we want to and because you want us to do it as well. And that little monster deserves to be back on track again. So, again, thank you all very much for all your support in this new project. We hope you guys are enjoying this so far. We've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're going to share every single step we possibly can share. Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks. Iowa to get the car, Michigan to get the donor car, Wisconsin to get the motors. And leaving on a road trip. By the time you watch this, I'll be in Maine on the 2500 road trip, which you'll see once I get back. And then there might be a trip to Long Island, New York right after that, I think. And then I guess there's also this thing that's going on in Savannah, Georgia that has to do with Capri racing also that you guys would probably enjoy, that I might be able to get involved in as well. So yeah, busy season has not ended here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.